For our private IP addressing, we set up 2 DHCP servers on each domain, so we would have some redundancy. We did split the scopes on both of those, so in case one of the servers does go down, we will still be able to provide IP addressing out to the rest of the clients. We also had some exclusions, and those exclusions were to allow for the current servers and printers that we have, and also for servers and printers that may be added to the network in the future as we expand, and hopefully we will.
And as far as distributing our IP addresses is concerned, we decided to have a separate subnet for both Lake Hattie and Elk Island. We also had a separate subnet for each one of our branch stores, retail operations, and left room for the 3 future stores that are in the process of opening and any future expansion for that as well. In addition to that, we made sure that Lake Hattie, Elk Island, each and every branch out there, there was room for expansion for more IP addresses in the future.
Here shows our IP subnetting breakdown for Lake Hattie Corp. We left more than enough room for Lake Hattie Corp, future, shipping east and west for expansion. Elk Island, same scenario. We left more than enough room for everybody for future expansion. And as far as the retail stores, same scenario goes.
We determined that approximately 3 servers would be needed on each domain. We also determined that certain services, such as Active Directory, would have to be installed on all 3 of the servers for redundancy. There was something else I was going to say about that too, but I don't recall now. So I will let the next slide go.
Now, the network administrators in Lake Hattie need to be able to administer to all the resources in Elk Island. So what we did in Elk Island is we delegated control to the enterprise administrators to allow them to control everything on both forests, both domains. We needed to deploy antivirus to all the machines, so what we did was created a group policy for to be able to deploy OpenOffice and antivirus. We created a separate OU for the servers and blocked inheritance so that the workstation antivirus wouldn't be applied to the servers. And for the workstations, I just included both OpenOffice and the workstation antivirus in one, and then created a separate group policy just for deployment for the servers. Now the department managers, we needed to be able to have them modify user and groups in their department. So what we did was we delegated control to the managers by creating an OU for every single department and just delegating control.
Okay, so to protect against data loss, we and one of the requirements was that we didn't want the help desk to be bothered by simple things like restoring documents. So we enabled shadow copies on the servers, and we deployed through a group policy. We deployed the previous versions client to each of the clients, and so that the users would be able to go back and get a previous version of their document instead of bothering the help desk.
Also against data loss, we created a backup schedule for both force, including on-site and off-site storage. We're running full backups every Friday and then incremental the rest of the week. The reason why we chose that schedule is because incremental takes less time to back up. It does take a little bit longer time when it's restored, but in the long run we chose incremental just because it was less of a problem on the network. We also implemented RAID 5 on the file server for data recovery, basically redundancy, another added piece of protection. There's the backup schedule right there.
We did have outside salespeople for Elk Island that needed to be able to access resources while they're on the road.
So they VPN connection, but what we wanted to prevent was any kind of malicious software being introduced into the corporate network structure. So we set up quarantine to prevent malicious software from being introduced. Same goes for telecommuters during bad weather. Telecommuters may have to work at home, so they VPN, and the same quarantine applies to the telecommuters as well.
So in the warehouses, we had handheld computer devices that needed to be wireless. And so to protect that, to provide security for that, we implemented WPA, and we disabled the broadcast, and we did the MAC filtering.
Well, basically, that pretty much wraps up our presentation. We definitely want to thank all of our instructors for their hard work and effort and putting up with us throughout the whole project as well. And we'll be taking questions here shortly, so please let us know if there's anything we can answer for you guys.